Hello everyone and welcome back to Classic Comics. So today I'm looking at Heroes Return #1. This is the conclusion to the big Heroes Reborn storyline. Again, written by Jason Aaron with art by Ed McGuinness. So let's just go ahead and get into it here. Now, we start with Phil Coulson, who is the president in this alternate reality, and we know that he has made some kind of pact with Mephisto and used this. It's not the Cosmic Cube, but it's something similar that I guess he got from Mephisto to alter reality. And then he hops into one of those, shield flying cars and heads for Africa, which is where Wakanda is, which is where the Squadron Supreme is fighting the Avengers. And he's got a couple of fighter jets tagging along with him. All right, and then we get a great 2-page spread from McGuinness here with Hyperion and Thor fighting. And then we've got Echo fighting Power Princess. And then Dr. Spectrum is fighting this kid Starbrand. And Blur is fighting Black Panther, and Blade is fighting Nighthawk. And then Captain America, he goes after Coulson when Coulson arrives on the scene, and he jumps onto this flying car that Coulson has and tears open the roof to confront him. Now, we also find out that one of the pilots of these fighters is, of course, Carol Danvers. She's involved in this, too. Now, Hyperion is fighting against Thor, and he's kind of struggling. And it turns out that vibranium is, basically, it's his kryptonite. It's from the world that he came from. This is a new wrinkle, because in the past, different versions of Hyperion, they've been vulnerable to a substance called argonite, which was, of course, similarly supposed to be like kryptonite, but here they've made it, or Jason Aaron, rather, has made a vibranium into his kryptonite, basically. Black Panther tears up Blur's legs and cripples him, and then Starbrand defeats Dr. Spectrum. Captain America realizes that Coulson has some form of the Cosmic Cube, and then Coulson explains that he changed the world in order to make a world with more order in it. And then Danvers flies by in her fighter jet and bonks Coulson on the head, basically. How she does that without killing him, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that if a wing of a plane hit your head when it's flying at, supersonic speeds, I'm pretty sure it would kill you. Then Starbrand and Phoenix together defeat Power Princess. Then Hyperion defeats Thor. And then Hyperion and Nighthawk confront Black Panther, and he fights them. And then Captain America takes out Hyperion. And then Phoenix and Starbrand together destroy the Pandemonium Cube. And of course, without the cube, everything reverts to the way it was, with some differences. This Starbrand baby is still around. And also, the members of the Squadron Supreme, they still exist in this new restored reality, but they in this reality they never existed, so they have no past. There's no police records of any type of them, and so they really don't have a place in this continuity anymore. And then we see Nighthawk, who is resolved to try and restore the previous timeline, no matter what he has to do. And then, in the end, Coulson is trapped, I guess, in that Pandemonium Cube, and we find out that this creature, is Mephisto, just like it seemed to be, and he's apparently a member of a whole council of Mephistos from different realities, I guess. And that's the end. And I gotta say, this, I went into this kind of excited. And I really did enjoy some of the issues. I have to say, overall, I think it's that I kind of enjoyed this alternate Marvel universe they portrayed more than the actual storyline. And this final issue really overall was disappointing for me. One of the things that really just sticks out to me is it shows how in Marvel these days there really is just no kind of consistency to how characters are portrayed from one series or another, one issue or another. For example, in this storyline, so in this alternate storyline where the Squadron Supreme are the main superheroes, we see members of the Squadron defeating Marvel villains just ridiculously easy. Hyperion defeats Galactus with one shot. Dr. Spectrum defeats Thanos easily. Nighthawk is defeating numerous formidable villains easily. But then when the Avengers face them in the final confrontation here, the Squadron easily defeats these villains, or well, not villains, but defeats the Squadron. The Starbrand kid easily defeats Dr. Spectrum somehow, even though in Dr. Spectrum's issue, Starbrand transferred some of her powers to Rocket, and then Rocket, powered with the brand, fought Spectrum, and Spectrum beat him easily. And somehow the Black Panther, even though the Blur is basically, a Marvel version of the Flash, Black Panther is able to basically keep up with him. And, I mean, how does that even work? And another thing is just particularly with Captain America, because Captain America in this story is so, incensed and, morally outraged. But all he knows about the previous reality is what he's been told. Isn't it? I mean, in this reality, he went into the ice and never came out until recently. So he doesn't even know what the other original Marvel reality is like. So why is he so upset? He has no emotional connection to it. I just felt like his anger and his outrage in this just felt very contrived and just kind of not appropriate to the character. And yeah, I mean, it's not bad, but it's kind of disappointing. Honestly, I would have kind of preferred if they just kept the Marvel Universe like this for a while. Maybe a little while longer. I kind of enjoyed this alternate version more than the regular MCU itself these days. But, obviously that wasn't going to happen. And the Squadron are again kind of made into punks so the Avengers can beat them. And that's another thing, is that the Avengers, particularly Captain America, seems so angry and outraged at the Squadron. This isn't the Squadron's fault. They had nothing to do with it. They're just pawns too. But the Avengers don't care about that. They just want to beat them up because they're bad guys. Never mind that's not true, But again, I don't know. So overall, while the McGinnis's art is great, the conclusion really kind of underwhelming, kind of disappointing. And I almost hate to say it, but I mean, with the art, I'm not going to give it a thumbs down, but if it weren't for the art, I probably would. There are better Squadron Supreme stories, and particularly there was a limited series of the Squadron done back in the mid-'80s that is one of my all-time favorite stories. and I want to do a review of that. Hopefully, maybe I'll be able to do that this weekend. But anyway, for this, you know, again, kind of a marginal thumbs up, mainly because of the art. But otherwise, it's overall kind of a disappointing crossover. It's kind of like so many crossover events. A pretty cool premise. The first initial issues are kind of interesting, but then the conclusion just kind of leaves you wanting. So anyway, let me know what you thought in the comments. And please do like this video before you go. Also, please sub to the channel and hit the bell for notifications. And I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching.